Super Rugby round number 10, folks. A couple of big upset wins this round. My Blues managed to get a win, but they were kind of hanging on at the death. Moana's game was delayed against the Waratahs with a bit of lightning halfway through. And yeah, the Drua finally went away from home. Let's go through the results that were at the weekend pretty quick, and we can pick out a game of the week and look at the upcoming round plus the standings. You guys can let me know your thoughts. Blues Highlanders. That's a high-scoring match, 47-40. I'm loath to give that game of the week, though, just because my Blues gave me all kinds of blood pressure issues during this game. We were up with a bonus point, the Blues, and yet a late resurgence from the Highlanders could have very well taken it to golden point or super point at the death, but no, the Blues were able to hang on, but only just barely. Another good outing from Anton Segner. He scored a couple of tries from the Blues, managed a couple of turnovers, one as well on defense. He's doing his, credentials. No harm with a couple of good performances in the last 2 weeks. Satutu came back from injury and scored a try. He was our top carrier, our top tackler, so good to see Hoskins back, Sam Derry, Bradley Slater. We were getting all our tries to the forwards apart from the Cole Forbes one, which Bodie helped set up. And then the Landers, it was all their backs. Lennox at 9. Geez, he's nippy. Absolutely danger man. He bagged a couple of tries. He was like the top guy for defenders beaten. He had 8. He had 95 metres, 2 line breaks. He was causing the Blues all kinds of havoc. They got a lot of good 9s down in the Highlanders, don't they? Talia grabbed a couple. Tito Harris got one. Vikena, a former Blues man, got one in the 77th minute to bring it to real kind of heart-in-mouth stuff. The Blues will not be happy with the defending, but Coach Jamie Joseph was not happy with the Zahn Sullivan tackle on Caleb Tangitau. Caleb Tangitau set up one of the Highlanders' tries, got high tackled by Sullivan, which saw him go off with an HIA Tangitau and not come back onto the field, which is a big blow because he is an absolute weapon with that pure speed of his, another former Blues man. But I don't know, I watched it as a Blues fan. I thought he was bent, could have been more bent, but he wasn't like fully upright like standing tackles that we used to get, kind of face-on-face stuff. So could have been worse, could have been better. I thought Tangitau's pass went forward anyway, so maybe they get a bit, we get a bit. But I don't know, I say that as a Blues fan. You guys let me know what you reckon. Was it red cardable? Was it mid? Or something else? Either way, the Blues get it done. But 47-40 at home, that's 2 weeks in a row the Blues conceded a massive number of points. It's hard to put us in the kind of real contender conversation when you're conceding that many points at the minute. But it's not the end of the season just yet. 78% was the Blues' tackle completion rate, which is just way too low. The Landers were at 87, even though they scored conceded 47 points. So some of those tries, like a big Ake going through from close range, it's not necessarily missed tackles all the time that concede tries. The Highlanders certainly had heaps of chances. They could very well have won that game if they'd been a bit more clinical. They coughed up a bit too much ball, and the Blues were able to win turnovers. But overall, entertaining game, especially if you're a neutral, I reckon. Waratahs, Moana, as I mentioned, there's a bit of lightning in that game, 2/3 of the way through the match, or 3/4 of the way through. So I went to bed and didn't see the end because it was getting kind of late. Yeah, there was lightning in the vicinity, so they had to call off play. The Moana guys had the early lead. Matavao loves a tap, penalty tap, and then snipe, doesn't he? He scored 2 tries that way for Moana. Riley got 1 for the Waratahs from the bench, and that man, Sid Harvey, he's having a good season. He's leading the Rookie of the Year standings. He bagged a couple of tries in his first finish in the air. Proper wingers finish, even though he's starting at fullback. But yeah, on that left wing, scored a couple of tries. Well worth looking at his highlight reel if you haven't seen it, because it was a thing of beauty try. Then they got them through Kailea and Whainga'a towards the end. Scoreless second half from Moana. So yeah, it's a bonus point win for the Tars. That last try to Whainga'a made it 5 tries to 2. That's the one I missed because I'd gone to bed. But much needed for the Tars if they are going to get themselves into that genuine kind of playoff contention race. Bonus point win over Moana at home. Kind of just what the doctor ordered. Semesi Tuputailoa is still a machine. 21 carries, 10 defenders beaten, 103 metres. The guy's going to get a contract somewhere. Once Moana's, this time Moana comes to conclusion as the club winds down at the end of the season. But he's been incredible. Sid Harvey, as I mentioned, 69 metres, 4 defenders beaten, 2 tries. Also pretty slick outing from him. But yeah, as I said, good for the Waratahs in terms of their playoff hopes. And for Moana, it's another game where they don't get any points but showed some promise. Chiefs, Hurricanes, that is your top of the table clash. And it goes to Super Point. It's a late try to Satiti that gets it done. We did a full match review of this one along with the Blues game as well. But is that game of the week? I'm going to give it to one of the other games, but it's a good game. It's well worth a watch. It puts paid to anybody. I mean, I know there's a 47-40 on the board next door, but this was a defensive turnover game. Big wind in this game, which meant whoever was facing the wind was having issues with their kicking game. Both lineouts were struggling a wee bit, but it was defense, it was turnovers, more than line breaks and offloads and, you know, scoring 50 points kind of thing. Super Rugby gets criticised for being all too open. This game was not that. Simon Parker gets one for the Chiefs, and Sinkinson's one when the Chiefs were seemingly dead and buried. That one was like a proper line break, slick passing, very, very exquisite try. The Canes got 3, Morby, Lakai, and Aumua before full time, but they missed conversions. They only kicked 1 of the 3 conversions, whereas the Chiefs kicked 2 and a penalty, so it was 17 apiece going in at full time. Aumua's try was a really nice one for the Hurricanes. He's such a wrecking ball of a player, so really pleasing to see. They were, like, Derns was causing all kinds of line-out woes for the Chiefs. But like I mentioned, the Super Point 10 period like only lasts 4 because Satiti, he's able to get a bizarre try after the Chiefs have had a big line break into the wind as well. D-Mac goes for the droppy in the pocket, very close range, charged down partially by Derns, and that loose ball pounced on by Satiti, who's had a hand in the Sinkinson try earlier to get the Chiefs level, and it is the game for the Chiefs. So they win it in golden point, Super Point, extra time, whatever you want to call it, and they knock off the team at the top of the log. So intense, really intense game. Turnovers one was 8-11, which is more than we usually see in one game of rugby. Line breaks was 6-3, which is lowish for a Super Rugby game. It was the Chiefs who had 6. 2 of those were D-Mac. He had 60 metres in this game. Geordie Barrett was busy on the tackle with 18, so with Kurefi. Yeah, they'll rue at least one of those missed conversions, the Hurricanes. The Morby try was genuinely really out wide, but the Aumua one was certainly convertible. But there was a lot of wind in that game. So, man, Chiefs, massive, massive win for their, hopes of being top qualifier. Then the Brumbies and the Drua. Is this game of the week? The Brumbies made a lot of errors. I mean, part of that's the Drua getting in their faces, but geez, the Brumbies blew some points. The Drua finally get a win on the road. I'm chuffed for the Drua because they never win on the road. To go to Canberra, of all places, and get it done is pretty massive. Massive, massive result for the Drua. Mataele, 2 tries, including a really nice intercept one. Finds Lelawasa from a tap, another try from a tap from a halfback. Kurivoli, that one was cracking. Like the Drua, that one's a highlight-worthy try, one of the tries of the week. Although 2 minutes earlier, the Brumbies had blown the absolute most sure thing try of the evening. I can't believe they blew that try. They had one through Frost early, which took the lead, the Brumbies, but they were chasing this game like it was 22-7 at halftime. The Brumbies were out of sorts. Sapsford's got one. He's had a hand in the blow-in try, though, him and Meredith. Edmed got one, and Toole got a really nice one on 69 minutes. They had a maul at the end. The Brumbies, they could have mauled it over, but they couldn't get the maul going. It was just straight sacked, and ball didn't come out. It was game over. So, uncharacteristic number of errors from the Brumbies, like turnovers conceded, is usually like, I don't know, 10 would be nice, 13, 14, 15 is normal, 18, 19, 20 is getting a bit high. Like if you get into 20 turnovers conceded, it's pretty high. The Drua 18, which is kind of high-ish, but it's not the most egregious I've seen. The Brumbies in this game, 29. I don't think I've ever seen 30. So 29 turnovers conceded is a horrendous number. I know Glenn Jackson's leaving at the end of the year, but he can put a feather in his cap for this one. They got a fine win over the Brumbies away from home, which really sticks it to the Brumbies' quest to try and get into that top 3. Like, this was a chance with the Chiefs and the Hurricanes playing each other to make up some ground. Because someone was going to lose unless it had been a draw. So, Brumbies will have to settle for a point in that one. Salawa, 15 tackles, 2 turnovers, 3 turnovers, 1. What a cracking defensive shift from that man and the Drua generally. But, yeah, if you're a Brumbies fan, you'll be mightily frustrated. The 22 entries, like entries into opposition 22, was 6 by the Drua, and they scored 4 tries. The Brumbies had 14. On another day, the Brumbies win that, but credit to the Drua. Cracking stuff. I've got your jersey on because that is a massive result. I think game of the week, and it's not because of you, Crusaders, but this one, the Force get the upset win at home. It has fewer errors than some of the other games, and it's a comeback. This is a hell of a comeback. Like, the Crusaders are up 19-0. Don't tell me you're a Force fan watching this game thinking, geez, not again. You have to have been thinking, not again. 19-0, surely you're not coming back from there. But the Force bloody well did it. And there were some really nice tries in this game. That's why I think this one is game of the week. Not because it's the Crusaders losing, I promise. Maybe a little bit, but mostly not. Like Bell, his nice try for the Crusaders was well worked. Fainganuku got one, absolutely powered over the Force's 9 Robertson. And then McNichol got one. It's an unbelievable one-handed finish. Like, the Crusaders scored 3 really nice tries for this 19-0 lead. Then the Force comeback. Robertson got one. Again, well worked. Dylan Peach, Zach Lomax, Matt Greeley, all combined really well for a nice try. He gets 2, does Robertson. And then Lomax gets his first try and his first start for the Force. Absolutely cracking stuff from him. Crusaders retook the lead after it was 19 points apiece through Hotham. But then the Force, during the Crusaders' late yellow card, scored 2, 1 through Peach and 1 through Harry Johnson-Holmes in his 100th match. That's a crazy game. Some of the nicest tries. A great comeback story. An underdog win. A guy on his 100th game getting a try. A guy on his starting debut getting a try. The one-handed finish from McNichol. There was so much going on in this game. It's crazy. Game of the week for mine. Both sides tackle percentages in the 90s, which is world class. Crusaders line-out struggled a bit. The Force had the better of the turnover battle. They won 8 to the Crusaders 5. Greeley beat 4 defenders. Dom Gardner had 19 tackles, but yeah, ultimately... Oh, I forgot to mention the Crusaders had a late try TMO'd as well. I don't think Crusaders fans will be happy with the TMO because they maybe wouldn't have liked a couple of the calls, but yeah, cracking game. Cracking game either way. How does the table sit now? Chiefs, Hurricanes, both on 31. Chiefs are in top spot though, although the Hurricanes have got a game in hand on them. Then the Blues on 29, so that's your leading 3. Although to me, even as a Blues fan, it feels like leading 2 and then there's a gap and then there's the Blues. Maybe I'm just being pessimistic, but we've shipped a lot of points the last couple of weeks. Brumbies on 25 are a game kind of behind, but they're also kind of a game ahead of the Reds, who are in 5th, although the Reds have still got a game in hand. Then the Crusaders are on 21. The Crusaders will feel the other teams breathing down their neck at this point because the Waratahs are on 19 with a game in hand. Drua 16, Highlanders 16, Force 14, and then the Moana boys are well behind with just the 4 points that they picked up in round number 1. Super round next week in Christchurch. Crusaders Waratahs to open things up. That might give the Crusaders a bit more breathing room from the team who is immediately behind them if they can get a win to open the stadium. Then the Hurricanes Brumbies, which is also kind of a top of the table clash. Hurricanes will be looking to bounce back. Blues against Reds. Colour against colour. Blues will likely be the favourite here in New Zealand, but hopefully we don't ship 40-odd points again. Then the Sunday games, Highlanders against Moana, and then the Chiefs against the Drua. So the 2 Pacific teams in action on the Sunday. It's smart scheduling to have all 5 New Zealand teams in action and not against each other. So there's, like, if you're travelling for the opening of the stadium, there's going to be at least one day that most fans will have a horse in one of the races. But anyway, you guys let us know your thoughts on the round that was. Couple of upsets on the Saturday. Blues shipping a lot of points but getting the win. Lightning affected game with the Waratahs. Lots of stuff going on. What was your game of the round? You guys take care, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.